Good morning to everyone. Today we are going to start chapter number 13, that is direct and inverse proportion. Okay, so here are the two definitions for the chapter 13. First is direct proportion and second is inverse proportion. Chapter number 13 is totally based on the two proportion, that is direct and inverse proportion. By the word itself, it is very clear by direct and inverse proportion, isn't it? Now, proportion we had already studied. Now we will see what is direct and inverse proportion. Okay, first direct proportion. Two quantities x and y are said to be in direct proportion if whenever the value of x increase or decrease, the value of y also increase or decrease in such a way that the ratio x upon y remains constant. It means that when the two quantities, means suppose the quantity x and y we are having, okay, when the value of x is increased, automatically the value of y will be increases. In the same way, when the value of y is decreases, automatically the value of y is also decreases. It says that the ratio of x and y remains constant. Clear? Suppose when x and y are in direct proportion, it means x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2 is equals to x3 upon y3, and it goes on. Okay, it depends on how many goes on or so on. That means it depends on the number of quantities is given. Okay, then inverse proportion, it is just inverse of the direct proportion. It says that if x and y are the two quantities and x value is increases, that means the value of y will be decreases. Okay, and if value of x decreases, the value of y is increases. It is just opposite of the direct inverse. In direct inverse, when x is increases, y also increases, but here when in inverse proportion, when x increases, y is decreases. Remember, okay. Then what is the second condition for inverse proportion is when x and y are in inverse proportion, then x1 into y1 is equals to x2 into y2 is equals to x3 into y3, and so on. Okay, this is the main difference. What are the main difference in this two definition is when x and y, automatically x and y, if x is increases, y is also increases. If x is decreases, y is also decreases, and the formula is x1 upon x2 x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2. But for inverse proportion, when x increase or decrease, the value of y, if it x increase, the value of y is decrease. If x decrease, value of y increase. It means xy remains constant. That means the formula will be in the multiplication form. Clear everyone? Next only two definition we are having in this exercise. So here is the exercise 13.2 first question. What the first question says that following are the car parking charges near a railway stations up to the ratios are given, or the two quantities, that means x and y values are given in the form of hours and rupees. That means 4 hours needed 60 rupees, 8 hours needed 100 rupees, and in the same way 12 hours needed 140, 24 hours needed 180 rupees. What we have to do is, if the questions is in the form of a direct proportion, we have to find the values. We have to find the direct proportions, whether it is in the direct proportions or not. Okay. Then second question, a mixture of paint is prepared by mixing one part of a red pigments with 8 parts of base, and the following table is given. Then what we have to find? We have to find the parts of base. If the part of red pigment is 1 and the base pigment is 8, then we have to find the rest other. Okay, where the part of red pigment and the part of base pigment will be remains constant here. Clear? Then we have to find the value for the rest. In question number 3, in question 2, above, if one part of red pigments required 75 ml of base, how much red pigment should we mix with the 100 ml of base? That means one part of red pigment is required how many base? Part of base is 75. Then 1800 ml needed how much red pigment? That we will consider it as X. Okay, then we will find the value. Then next question. A machine in a soft drink factory fills 840 bottles in 6 hours. How many bottles will it fill in 5 hours? So let the bottle filled in 5 hours be X, then we will find the value. Then again here the same, a photograph of a bacteria is enlarged 50 times attained in the length of 5 centimeter as shown in the figure. What is the actual length of the bacteria if the photograph is enlarged 20,000 times only? What would be its enlarged length? So let the enlarged length we will consider as X, then we will find. Student, one by one when we are going to find the value, then only you will know how to solve the questions. So here are some questions given. Let's see the solutions directly. Okay. So what is the question for chapter 13, direct and inverse proportion 13.1? Okay, here is the first question solution. As I told you, we have to check the hours and the rupees whether they are in proportion or not. Like that we have to check. So 4 hours is equals to how much? 60 rupees are there, isn't it? In the same way, 8 hours is equals to 100 rupees, 12 hours is equals to 140 rupees, and 24 hours is equals to 180 rupees we are having. For checking the whether the values are in direct proportion or not, what we have to do? x1 upon x2 x1 upon y1, x2 upon y2, x up is equals to x3 upon y3, and x4 upon y4 we have to check, because here are the 4 quantities are there, that's why. Now what we have to do? We have to see the cancellation, because 4 upon 60 is get cancelled, 8 upon 100 also get cancelled, 12 upon 140 get cancelled, 24 upon 180 will also get cancelled by the table of 2 itself, isn't it? Because all are the even numbers. When 8 by 40 get cancelled, we will get the required answer as 2 by 30. When 2 by 30 will get cancelled, we will get the required answer as 1 upon 15. Then 8 upon 100 will get cancelled, we will get the required 4 upon 50. When 4 upon 50 will get cancelled by the table of 2, we will get 2 upon 25. Similarly, for 12 upon 140 will get cancelled by the table of 2, we will get 6 upon 70. When 6 upon 70 will get cancelled by the table of 2 itself, it will be 3 upon 35. Then 12 upon 90 will get cancelled, we will get 6 upon 45, isn't it? Now look students, it will again, if you want to cancel the number, it won't be get cancelled, because the numerators and the denominators, one is even and another one is the odd number. So it is not, we are unable to do the cancellation. Now look, the values of all the proportion, that means x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2 is equals to x3 upon y3 is equals to x4 upon y4, all are not in proportion. That means these values are not in direct proportion. Why it is not in direct proportion? Because the values are not equal. Here we are having the equal to sign, isn't it? It means that we should have the equal numbers in the numerator and denominator for all the quantities, but here different values we are getting. So the answer is not in direct proportion. Thus the parking charges are not in direct proportions to the parking time. Clear everyone? Next question, question number 2. In question number 2, it is said that it is talking about the pigments and the base, isn't it? We are going to prepare a with the help of a red pigment and a 8 part of a base, we are going to prepare a mixtures, and then we have to paint something, isn't it? So here we are having a mixture of paint contain 1 part of red pigments and 8 part of base. This is already said in the questions. Since x and y are in direct proportion, this is also said in the question that x and y is direct in proportion, isn't it? So if x and y is direct proportion, is in direct proportion, that means what we have to do? We have to find the values of the numbers. So x upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2, isn't it? Now x1 value I said that in the question it is given 1 upon 8. In the box, tabular form box is given there, 1 upon 8 is constant for all the quantities, is equals to x2 is given as 4 in the table, y2 we have to find. So 1 into y2 will be y2 itself, and 8 into 4 it will be get cross multiply, so the answer will be 32. So 4 upon 32 is the ratio for the second part of the table. In the same way, for the third, x1 upon y1 is equals to x3 upon y3. x1 and upon y1 will be remains constant for all the values. That means 1 upon 8 will be remains constant, isn't it? So 1 upon 8 is equals to 7 upon y3. It will be get cross multiplied. So 1 into y will be how much? It will be y3 is equals to 7 into 8 will be 56. Okay. In the same way, the fourth, x1 upon y1 is equals to x4 upon y4. So 1 by 8 is equals to 12 upon y3. It will get cross multiply. So 1 into y3 is equals to 12 into 8, it will be 96. So y3 value equals to 96. Then same for the last part, that is x1 upon y1 is equals to x5 upon y5 is equals to 1 upon 8 is equals to 20 upon y5. So y5, so 1 into y5 is equals to 20 into 8, so y5 value will be equals to 160. So here we got the tabular, that is as said that the value of x1 upon y1, that is 1 upon 8 remains constant, 4, 7, 12 values is already given, that is x2, x3, x4 and this one is x5. These values we had find it over here. Clear everyone? Now the next question, question number 13. What is said in, not 13, question number 3. What is said in question number 3, that let the, this question number 3 is correlated with the question number 2 itself. That means continuations of the question number 2 it is only. Okay. It is said that let the red pigment be mixed be X. We will consider the red pigment mixed, the part of base is 75. Okay. So let the red pigment be mixed be X. We will consider if red pigment will be 1 for 75 milliliter, then how much will be for red pigment for 1800 milliliter. Have you understood the question? It is said that if it is said in the question that if one red pigment needed part of base 75 milliliter, then how much red pigment will be needed in 1800 milliliter of the milliliter, okay, part of a base. So as the question is in the form of a direct proportion, here inverse will not come, here the word direct proportion will come. Okay, wherever direct inverse is there, there you have to write direct proportion. Okay, so by direct proportion, what is the value we are having? The value we are having as x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2. This is the value we are having, isn't it? Now x1 is 1 upon 75 is equals to y2 upon x2 upon y2. Here is x2, isn't it? So x2 upon y2 is equals to x upon 1800, isn't it? So it will be get cross multiply, that is x into 75 is equals to 1 into 1800. So 75 will comes in the denominator of 1800, so it will be get cancel 1 za and 24 za. In table of 75, 1800 comes how many times? How many times? 24 times. Okay, so or you can directly cancel by the table of 5 also. So what is the red pigment is needed for the part of base of 1800 ml, that is 24 red pigment, 24 part of red pigment is needed for part of base 1800 milliliter. Clear everyone? Next question. In next question, let the bottle filled is shown by. Okay, we will consider the bottle to be filled in 5 hours by. Okay, then if 6 bottle is filled in 840, what is said in the question? If 6 bottle is filled in in 6 hour if 840 bottle is to be filled, then in 5 hours how many bottles is to be filled? So let the bottle filled in 5 hours be y we will consider. Okay, so students, here in place of inverse I had written inverse. Here you have to write proportion. By mistake I had written the word inverse over here, so please write there the word proportion. It will be direct proportion. Okay, so here it will be get cross multiplied. So 6y is equals to 5 into 840. It will be get cross multiplied. Okay, now y is equals to 5 into 840 upon 6. Now cancellation of this term, what we will get the answer as? We will get the answer as y is equals to 700 bottles. Clear? So what is the answer? Thus the number of bottles filled in 5 hours are 700 bottles. Next question, question number 5. As here we are talking about the pictures of bacteria is enlarged, isn't it? Here let the enlarged length of bacteria, we will consider it as x. Actual length of the bacteria is 5 upon 50,000 centimeter. Okay, so 5 upon 50,000 will get cancelled by the table of 5 itself. So what will be the result? 1 upon 10,000 we will get. So how many zeros are there in this 10,000? 4 zeros are there. So 1 upon 10,000 can be written as 1 upon 10 to the power 4. Okay, since a to the power minus 1 is equals to 1 by a we are having. Do you remember the laws of exponent property? What is a to the power minus 1 law? That is a inverse is equals to 1 upon a. So in the same by applying this law, this 1 upon 10 to the power 4 will be converted as 10 to the power minus 4 by applying the laws of exponent, that is a to the power minus 1 is equals to 1 upon a. Clear everyone? Hope you understood why this happens. It is due to the loss of exponent. A to the power minus 1 is equals to 1 upon a. That's why. Okay, now enlarged length of a bacteria is 5 and photograph is enlarged by 50,000. Okay, then enlarged length we will consider as x, enlarged photograph will be 20,000. So therefore by direct proportion, isn't it? By direct proportion what we are having? x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2. So 5 upon 50,000 is equals to x upon 20,000. So 5 upon 50,000 is equals to x upon 20,000 will get cross multiply. Here it will be get cross multiplied, isn't it? When it will be get cross multiplied, it will be x into 50,000 is equals to 5 into 20,000, isn't it? So x is equals to 5 into 20,000 upon 50,000. It will be like this, isn't it? Now zeros will be get cancelled. Obviously the zeros from the numerator and denominator will be get cancelled. 4 zeros from the denominator and 4 zeros from the numerator will get cancelled. 5 will get cancelled. What is the number left out? That is number 2. So what is the answer is? Answer is thus the bacteria enlarged in length is 2 centimeter. Clear everyone? Next question number 6. Let the length of the model ship. Here in question number 6 it is talking about a ship whose model is being prepared by looking the actual length. So what is the actual length of the ship is? That is 28 meter, but the model length of the ship we will consider as an x. Okay, here we are talking about the imaginary and the actual length. So actual length of the ship is 28 meter, but we will consider the imaginary, that means model ship will be small, isn't it? So we will consider it as x. Okay, so what will be the tabular form is length of the model is 9 upon 12, actual length is 12 meter, but while considering the model of the ship imaginary we will consider 9, isn't it? So length of the model ship will be x, but the actual length of the ship is 28 meter. So by direct proportion, x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2. So what is the value of x1 upon y1 we are having? That is 9 upon 12. And what is the value of x2 upon y2 we are having? That is how much? X upon 28, isn't it? How much we are having? X1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2. So 9 upon 12 is equals to x upon 28 we are having, isn't it? Here it will be get cross multiplied. So what we will get? 12x is equals to 9 into 28. Now this 12 will becomes in the denominator of 9 into 28. So 9 into 28 upon 12 we will having. Now we can cancel it by the table of 2, isn't it? It will be get cancelled. Now the table of, applying the table of what? Applying the table of again 2, it will be get cancelled. Now applying the table of 3, it will be how much? 3 into 7, it will be 21. So what is the answer for that? That is x is equals to 21 centimeter is the model length of the model ship when the actual length of the ship is 28 meter. Clear everyone? Dear student, always remember that there is a lots of difference between the actual image and the original image. Actual image is more in length compared to the imaginary length. When a boat is prepared by someone in the form of a model, obviously it will be prepared in the small size. So if the actual length of the boat will be 28 meter, then we have to find the imaginary, that means model boat length. So we had find it here with the help of direct proportion, that is 21 centimeter will be the length of the model ship. Clear? Question number 7. Here question number 7 says that here we are talking about the crystals of sugar. As we are going to see the sugars are having infinite numbers of crystals in that, isn't it? Minute crystals are there. So this question is depend on that sugar crystals. So here it is said that we have to find the number of crystals in the sugar. If we are having 5 kg of sugar, then how many numbers of crystals are there in 5 kgs of sugar? That we will consider it as x. Okay. Here what is said here? Let the number of crystals of sugar we are going to in 5 kg we are going to consider as x1. Okay. Then clear? And in the same way for x2 will be number of crystal for 1.2 kg. Clear? Understood? Let the number of crystals in 5 kg of sugar be x1, and in the same way let the number of crystals in 1.2 kg of sugar be x2. Here 2 kgs are given, that is one is 5 kg and another one is 1.2 kg. In both the kgs we have to find the number of crystals that we are going to consider as x1 and x1 and x2. Okay. So the tabular form of that will be number of crystals upon sugar is equals to how much it will be? Number of crystals upon sugar upon in the second step sugar will be in the kg, number of crystals will have no unit. Okay. So in the question number of crystals for 2 kg is already given, that is how much it is given? 9 into 10 to the power 6 upon 2. Okay. Is equals to, then next one is given as x1 upon 5 is equals to, next one is given x2 upon 1.2. So this 9 into 10 to the power 6 upon 2 is constant for x1 upon 5 and also constant for x2 upon 1.5. By using this 9 into 10 to the power 6 upon 2, we are going to find the value of x1 and x2. Clear? So what the direct proportion we are having? So student, here again I had written inverse. Please in place of inverse you have to write the direct proportion word over there. Okay. Sometime it's my mistake is there. So please write down there, in place of inverse write the proportion. So what is the proportion? As I told you that 9 into 10 to the power 6 upon 2 is equals to x1 upon 5, isn't it? Now while doing the cross multiplication, how much we will get? 9 into 10 to the power 6 into 5 upon 2 is already here, isn't it? Into 2 will be there. Now then after is equals to, we have to find the value of what? X1 crystals. Now solving this, what we have to do? We have to divide and multiply by 2. So here also 2 will be multiplied. In the numerator and denominator 2 will be multiplied. So why we are multiplying? I will explain you. X1 is equals to 9 into 10 to the power 6 we are having, isn't it? And when we are going to multiply and divide 2 in the numerator and denominator, here 5 into 2 will be 10 we will get. It will be 10 itself, isn't it? And in the denominator it will be 4. So this 10 will be helpful for the 10 to the power 6. That's why we had multiplied over here. Okay. So how much it will be? While multiplying 2 in the numerator and denominator, it will be 2 into 5 will be 10 into 9 into 10 to the power 6 upon 4, where 10 to the power 6 into 10. 10 to the power 6 into 10 to the power 1. If here nothing is there, that means power 1 will be there. So if base are same, powers are different, applying the loss of exponent, the powers will be added, isn't it? So the power will become 7, 10 to the power 7. That's why we had multiplied 2 in the numerator and denominator. So what will be the answer? 9 into 10 to the power 7 upon 4 will be there. Clear everyone? Now when 9 upon 4 will be divided, what is the number? When 9 upon 4 will be divided, we will get the answer 2.25 into 10 to the power 7. 10 to the power 7 will remain as it is. 9 will be divided by the table of 4. So it will be how much? 8. Isn't it? When it will be divided, it will be 8. 2 will come. Then when we will subtract 8 with 9, it will get 1. Then taking the 0 decimal, again 8 we will consider 2. Here 2 will be there. Considering 2, 5. So that's why when 9 upon 4 will be divided, how much answer we will get? We will get as 2.25 into 10 to the power 7 will remain. So how many crystals are there in 5 kgs of sugar? That is 2.25 into 10 to the power 7 crystals are there in 5 kgs of sugar. Clear? So in the same way, we are going to find for the second part also. Okay. So in the second part, no multiply and divide will be there for the 2. So x 9 into 10 to the power 6 upon 2 is equals to x2 upon 1.2. So x2 is equals to 9 into 10 to the power 6 into 1.2 upon 2 will be there. Okay. So here, look the calculation once again. Here what we are going to do? Here 2 ones are and 2, 1.2, that means 0.6, isn't it? 0.6 it will be, 1.2 will be get cancelled in the table of 2 how many times? 0.6. So 9 into 10 to the power 6 into 0.6. Okay. So 9 will be going to multiply with 0.6. So how much you will get? The answer will be 5.4 into 10 to the power 6. 10 to the power 6 is already present here in the questions. That's why. Clear? Now, thus in 5 kg, 2.25 into 10 to the power 7 crystals are there, and in 1.2 kg of sugar, 5.4 into 10 to the power 6 crystals are there. Clear everyone? Now, question number 8. In question number 8, as we are seen in question number 6, the imaginary length of a boat and the actual length of a boat. So in the same way here, same question, the same way here we are going to see about a map. Okay. In a map also, while drawing in a map, in a picture of a map, we are considering the imaginary length, isn't it? So let the distance covered in map be x we will consider. So in a tabular form of a direct inverse, distance in map, that is in centimeter, actual distance is in kilometers. Here they look the units, that means imaginary distance in map will be in centimeter, but actual distance, that means on road the distance will be kilometers. So that is 1 upon 18 and x upon 72. Clear? Now again student, here it will become, in place of inverse, here it will become proportion. Okay, here it will become proportion. So what the formula for a direct proportion we are having? X1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2. So what is x1 upon y1? That is 1 upon 18 is equals to x2 upon y2 is how much? X upon 72, isn't it? Now we are going to do the cross multiplication. So what it will be? X into 18 is equals to 1 into 72, it will be 72 itself. So x is equals to 72 will be divided by 18. We will get the answer as 4 centimeter. Clear? Thus the distance covered in map is 4 centimeter for drive of 72 kilometers on a road. Clear? Next part of the question. Next question is question number 9. Let the length of the poles whose shadow is of length 10 meter 50 centimeter be x, and second we have to consider it as let the length of the pole whose shadow is of length 5 meter. Okay. Now in a tabular form what it will be? Length of a pole is in a meter and length of shadow of a pole is in centimeter. That means again we are talking about the imaginary image and the actual image. Okay, so imaginary image will be, that means shadow is an imaginary image, that will be in centimeter, and the actual image, actual length of the pole will be in meter. So what it will be? 5.60, and the length of the shadow wave for length of the pole 5.60 will be 3.20. Okay, then 10.50 if the length of the pole is given, that means how much we will consider the length of the shadow will be x. If the length of the pole is y, then the shadow will be 5. Okay, now by direct proportion, x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2 we are having, isn't it? Now what we have to do? We have to find the values. So for finding the values, we are going to substitute the values as 5.60 upon 3.20 is equals to 10.50 upon x. So x is equals to, it will be get cross multiplied, isn't it? So 10.50 into 3.20 upon 5.60. Doing the cancellation work, we will get the result as 6 centimeter. Now 5.60 upon 3.20 is constant for both. Okay, so again using 5.60 as x1 and 3.20 as x2, we will apply the direct proportion is equals to y upon 50. So finding the value of y by cross multiplication, we will get the required answer as 8.75 meter. So thus the length of the pole whose shadow is of length 10 centimeter, 10 meter it will be, not centimeter, here meter will come, 10 meter 50 centimeter and 5 meter is 6 centimeter and 8.75 meter respectively. Okay, next, last question of the exercise. Let the distance travelled by truck in 5 hours is equals to x. Okay, what we have to find? We have to find the distance travelled by truck in 5 hours. Okay, now distance in kilometers 14 and time taken is 25 upon 60 hours, x upon 5. So by direct proportion, x1 upon y1 is equals to x2 upon y2 is equals to 14 upon 25 upon 60 is equals to x by 5, isn't it? So cross multiplying the terms, 25 upon 60 into x is equals to 14 upon 5. So While doing the calculations, what the result we will get? We will get the answer as how much? X is equals to 168 kilometers. Thus the truck travels 168 kilometers in 5 hours. So this exercise is completed. Hope you people understood the chapter. So students, for this, try to do the practice of the questions, then it will be easy for you. This type of questions we had already done in the previous classes. So try to do. You can use other method also. Whichever method you required or you feel easy, can use that method. Okay. Thank you everyone.